President Biden's ambitious student loan forgiveness plan. College freshman Ibrahim Mudassar speaking directly to the justices.
You can help 40 million other people in the United States and jumpstart their path to freedom as well.
The latest Quinnipiac poll shows most Americans support the loan forgiveness program. You would think by store shelves in the New York City area last night there was a major blizzard on the way or hitting right now.
I was looking everywhere. There was no bread, no eggs, no milk.
In reality, it was only a couple of inches of snow, but it's the first measurable snowfall of the year for New York. The same storm that has moved across the country since last week is over New England now. Printed reports are now saying that the Energy Department believes with low confidence that the origin of the COVID-19 outbreak was that lab in Wuhan, China. ABC Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Jennifer Ashton on why it's important to find out.
I think that when you experience what the world has experienced with SARS-CoV-2, we need to learn our scientific lessons from this so that we can prevent anything from happening like this again in the near future, and that we can learn about how this virus does its damage. And without knowing how it started, its birth story, if you will, we're always going to be hampered to that end and that effect.
The worst violence in decades is continuing in the Israeli-occupied West Bank this week. You're listening to ABC News.
Inside a dimly lit room at the LBJ Library in Austin, Texas, a motion sensor triggers a recording, and a voice fills the room.
Suddenly, there was a sharp, loud report. A shot.
It's the voice of Lady Bird Johnson, the wife of Lyndon Johnson.
He wants to get out. There is no way out.
Lady Bird recorded her entire experience in the White House. Hours and hours of tape that almost no one has ever heard. And those tapes, they end up rewriting history. This is a story about one of the most influential members of the administration, even if we never knew it.
I wrote out for Lyndon about a 9-page analysis of what I thought his situation was.
From Best Case Studios and ABC Audio, listen to In Plain Sight, Lady Bird Johnson. Available now wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're getting a new look at why the government of Afghanistan collapsed so quickly, putting the country back in the hands of the Taliban. ABC's Brian Clark with the story.
The collapse of the Afghan government was years in the making. That was one finding of a report from a government inspector general, which labeled the 2020 Doha Agreement as a key turning point. That was the deal where the Trump administration agreed to reduce the number of airstrikes and pledged to leave the country in exchange for concessions from the Taliban. But one Afghan army commander said that deal created feelings of abandonment among the Afghan army, paving the way for the Taliban to retake the country, which it did in August of 2021. Brian Clark, ABC News.
The U.S. Marshal Service has been hit by a ransomware attack. ABC News Justice and Homeland Security reporter Luke Barr reports.
At this moment, we don't know exactly what's missing, but what we do know is that the area in which was accessed contained law enforcement sensitive material, among other things. That is all part of the Justice Department's review, which will be ongoing and is being looked at right now.
Officials say hackers got into the systems last month. Police in Massachusetts say a sweet potato has helped them solve a 12-year-old murder mystery. It was found at the scene of the crime, and now cops say the DNA of the suspect was pulled from the potato. Prosecutors say it was used as a makeshift silencer on a gun. That yam. This is ABC News.
Your morning's first news.
Good morning, America. We want to get right to that breaking news.
Never just the headlines, always digging deeper, reporting the facts you deserve. The exclusive news-breaking interviews, what everyone's talking about. Robin, George, Michael.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Serving up what you need and what you want. First thing every morning.
Good morning, America.
That's why GMA is America's #1 morning show.
We'll see you in the morning on GMA.
And we thank you.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Does that old tractor or lawnmower have more electrical tape or duct tape holding it together than you want to admit? Well, maybe it's time to see Phil Sheehan and his staff at NC Tractor for a new Massey Ferguson tractor or mower. Massey Ferguson is a company that's been around for over 175 years. That says a lot about a company. And paired with Phil Sheehan, who's been in business for over 25 years, that says a lot about Phil and his staff. Knowledgeable about their product, and they stand behind every sale. Massey Ferguson is the last tractor you'll ever need. NC Tractor, a dependable and reliable company company. They'll be there after the sale. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Temperatures today are on the rise. We are going to head into the lower 70s and lower 80s. It's going to be breezy at times with a lot of sunshine, shaping up to be a really nice afternoon outdoors. By tonight, we're down into the mid-40s, and then temperatures tomorrow are going to be a little bit milder. It's going to be great for some outdoor activities. We're heading into the lower 70s and lower 80s for today. Rain will move in by the time we head into Wednesday night, and stick with us into Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, have you noticed the days are getting longer, the nights are getting shorter? It means summertime's approaching, and we've got summer-like weather. Right now it's 60 degrees, warming up to 74 today, with wind gusts as high as 17 miles per hour tonight, mostly clear with lows around 46 light wind. Now we get some rain coming our way, but by the weekend, it's all going away. We'll have another beautiful weekend here in our neighborhood. Let's enjoy the outdoor as much as you possibly can. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. We'll have those death announcements coming up here in just a few moments. Right now, I've got these headline news. The Rutherfordton police is looking for a runaway Gracie Mull. Gracie is a 17-year-old white female that is 5'4" and weighs about 100 pounds. She is known to change her hair color, and last known color is blue. She was last seen at 163 Tanner Street in Rutherfordton on the February 24th. Gracie is possible in the company of her mother, Kim Morgan Mull, Jennifer Hoyle, or Zachary Tavernium. If you have any information regarding the location of Gracie, please contact the Rutherfordton Police Department at 429-4108. Our communication center at 828-286-2911. Again, possibly in the company of her mother, Kim Morgan Mull, or Jennifer Hoyle, or Zachary Tavernium. 17 years old, 5 foot 4 inches tall, weighs about 100 pounds. Her color possibly is blue. Now she changes her hair color from time to time, they say. Other news story, good news from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, said 3 people were recently charged for allegedly trying to move and sell fentanyl pills in Rutherford County. The deputy said detectives had been investigating reports that inmates inside the detention center were trying to run an operation selling pressed fentanyl pills throughout the county. According to deputies, after hours of surveillance and interviews, detectives seized around 350 pressed T-189 fentanyl pills from a house in the Chase community. They added that 3 suspects already in custody at the detention center were charged following the investigation. Brennan Reese Allen, charged to conspire to sell Schedule 1 controlled substance, and Charles Allen Bramlett, conspiring to sell Schedule 1 controlled substance as well. And others have been arrested in that respect as well, so no more drug arrests coming up. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper has ordered state facilities to fly all U.S. and North Carolina flags at half staff from sunrise to sunset today. The order honors former North Carolina Senator Jim Broyhill on the day of his funeral in Winston-Salem. The funeral will be held at Centennial United Methodist Church with a graveside service later in the day in Wilkes County. On February the 18th, Broyhill died at 95 at Arbor Acres Retirement Home in Winston-Salem. According to his son, he had reportedly suffered from congestive heart failure. Broyhill was a Republican and native of Illinois, served in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1963 to 1986. And when the death of Senator John East, Governor Jim Martin appointed him to fill out the unexpired term of Senator East, and he ran for Senate and was defeated by Sanford, I believe it was. So that's the story on that. So if you're a state facility, you're asked to fly your flags at half-mast. Right now, here is a Bill O'Reilly Morning Update. We'll get back with that in just a few moments, the death announcements and the Chronicles of the Old West coming straight ahead.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, no question there is a concerted effort to intimidate and silence conservative thinkers and replace our God-given individual liberty with big government controls. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in America. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits and all kinds of great content. Please stand with AMAC at amac.us. That's amac.us. On this Tuesday, it is winter break in some places around the country, and the urchins have a week off from school. These vacation names change from state to state, but rarely do we hear Christmas or Easter breaks any longer. Can't have that. Someone may be offended by the religious description. Soon we'll have diversity break. Anyway, I drifted down to Palm Beach, Florida over the weekend for some out of the annoying cold time. I happened by the O Hotel and Spa. Nice place, right on the ocean. Room with a resort view, $1,500 a night. A resort view means you don't see water from your window. You might see small lizards who apparently get sizable lodging discounts. The place was packed. Drinks flowed. Folks frolicked in the pools and on the beach. Spa service booked solid. This is America at leisure. Well, a small part of America. The truth is that most families cannot afford to go to the O. This wasn't a big deal in the past. Working folks accepted their affluent fellow citizens without rancor. But that has changed. Thanks to the progressive left's policy of resentment, the economic divisions among Americans are being exploited for political gain. No longer is the message, you too can hit it big. Now, the radical left wants to punish the most fortunate of us. Of course, this is divisive and morally wrong envy, but like COVID, it is a contagion. Back after this. If you are a timeshare owner, you're probably upset that your yearly dues continue to increase. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and done in a specific time frame. They're the only company you can trust, having helped more than 18,000 owners legally and permanently get out. So please call Lone Star Transfer 855-551-7066 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Listening to the radio, driving in your car. Radio gets results. Radio is there no matter where you are. Radio gets results. When you need to get your message through, people really do listen to you. Coming through loud and clear, no matter what you're telling, no matter what you're selling, everyone will hear. Radio gets results. Radio gets results. Radio gets results. Radio gets results.
We are 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton.
Now I have these death announcements this morning. Tracy Lee Simmons, age 51, of Rutherfordton, passed away Friday, February 24th at Adrium Health Carolinas Medical Center. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday, March 4th at Grace Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Tracy Lee Simmons. Jonathan Stephen Harden, 85, of Forest City, died Thursday, February 23rd. The Paget King Mortuary Crematory was in charge of those arrangements for Jonathan Stephen Harden. Deborah K. Taylor, age 64, of King Street, died Saturday, February the 25th. Celebration of Deborah's life will be held 4 p.m. Saturday, March 4th at Crow's Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service time. Crow's Funeral Service, serving the family of Deborah K. Taylor. Martha K. Monteith Briscoe, age 77, of Union Mills, passed away Saturday at her home. A graveside service will be held 2 p.m. Wednesday, March 1st at Round Hill Baptist Church Cemetery. And Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Martha K. Monteith Briscoe. Jimmy Ray Upton, age 69, of Mooresboro, passed away Friday, February 24th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A graveside service will be conducted at 2 o'clock this afternoon at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The family will greet friends following the service at the graveside. Mr. Upton's body will lie in state. He lay in state yesterday, Monday, until today at 8 o'clock. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services serving the family of Jimmy Ray Upton. Charles V. Rollins Sr., age 76, of Forest City, died February 26 at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. The family will be holding a memorial service on Saturday, March 4th at 2 o'clock at Crestview Baptist Church, South Church Street, Forest City. The family will receive friends in the foyer following the service. Rutherford County Honor Guard will be providing military honors. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Charles V. Rollins Sr. Ariel Jamie Holt, age 44, of Morning Star Lake Road, died Wednesday, February 22nd. A celebration of Ariel's life will be held by family and friends at a later date, and Crow's Funeral Home will be serving the family of Ariel Jamie Holt. Francis Arrowwood Brigman Sheehan, age 78, of Forest City, went to be with the Lord Saturday, February 25th at her home. The family will receive friends from 3 until 4 today at Holly Springs Baptist Church. The funeral service will be at Holly Springs Baptist Church at 4 o'clock today. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Francis Arrowwood Brigman Sheehan. Herb John Ackroyd, age 72, of Rutherford, passed away on Tuesday, February 21st at Mission Hospital in Asheville. A celebration of life service will be held on Sunday, March 19th at McMahon's Funeral Home. Herbert's remains will be buried at the First United Methodist Church Prayer Garden. The family will receive friends after the burial. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Herb John Ackroyd. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For complete information on these and others, as they become available to us, can be heard this morning at 11:30 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon Call Around the County newscast.
It was January of 1911. 4 sheep herders were watching their sheep in a canyon near Reno, Nevada, when they were attacked and killed by a band of Shoshone Indians. The Indians stripped the bodies of clothing and pulled any teeth that contained gold. The news of the killing not only surprised the residents of Nevada, it struck fear in their hearts. Everyone thought Indian wars were just something talked about by old men. Now there was one in the 20th century. Several posses were formed in the area, even from California. The posses had their work cut out for them because Nevada was going through one of the harshest winters in its history. One posse, led by a Nevada State Police Superintendent, Captain Donnelly, comprised of an Indian tracker and 16 cowboys. They followed the trail for 16 days through hail, ice, and snow in sub-zero temperatures. On Sunday, February 26th, they stumbled onto the Indian encampment. Before the posse could get into position, the Indians began firing and retreating down a draw between them. According to the posse, Indian men, women, and older children took an active part in the ensuing battle. All had war paint on their faces. Although some had rifles, most were using bows and arrows. Some even had improvised spears made of broom handles with pieces of steel shears attached to the end. All the Indians were killed, with the exception of a young girl and 2 babies. It was never known exactly what drove the small group of Shoshone on the warpath, but it was the last Indian battle. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
All right, let's get started now with our Call Around the County newscast this morning. David Butron is on with us from the Sheriff's Department. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good. What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 194 calls for service. The jail has processed 11 arrests. There's currently 177 incarcerated in the county jail. For arrest reports, Justin Wayne Fraser was served with an order for arrest for a failure to appear on a felony. Eric James Tardio was served with an order for arrest for a failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Karen Roper Craven was charged with possession of cocaine. Mark Edward Green was served with an order for arrest for a failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Kimberly Harris McKinney was served with warrants for breaking and entering, felony larceny, and larceny of a firearm. Alexander Antonio Lopez was served with 2 orders for arrest for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. And Wayne Richard Ashton was charged with possession of criminal substance in a jail or prison, possession of tobacco by an inmate, and assault on a government official. That's all we've got.
Thanks very much, David Butron. I appreciate it. You have a safe day out there.
Thanks, sir.
Bye-bye. And we'll check the 911 Communications Center next.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Here's Lindsay now with the 911 report. Good morning.
Good morning. In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 349 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 53 EMS under law enforcement, 194 Sheriff's Office, 46 Forest City, 7 Lake Lure, 39 Rutherfordton, and 26 Stendale. Under fire calls, Cherry Mountain and Sandy Mush both had motor vehicle accidents, and SDO had a fire alarm, and that is all.
Thanks so much. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye. Now from the doggone department, someone's lost their beagle pup this morning off of Wilson Road, right near Sparks Crossing, here close to WCAB. Beagle pup has no collar on, but it is a precious little puppy. So if you've seen this beagle pup, please call 429-1319. That's 429-1319. And they'd love to get their puppy back. Lost somewhere around the Wilson Road area near Sparks Crossing. So take a look and be careful and make sure the puppy gets home safely. Here's Ruby Taylor now reporting from SDO. Ruby, what's on the report over there today?
Well, they had a fire alarm. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Catherine Beam having birthday today and hope she has a nice day. Signs are in the breast today and more. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks so much. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You know, many of you love yard sales, and I know a bunch of you enjoy Anchor Down because it's kind of like an indoor yard sale. You know what I mean? Except much of the merchandise is new. You notice I said new, and listen to this. Clothes and shoes, 50 cents, pocketbooks, $1. Anchor Down carries small kitchen appliances, electronics, furniture, and everything's very, very reasonable. $5 or less with the exception of antiques and furniture. There are deals all over the store. They get a new load every week. That's different from yard sales. This stuff is coming in new every week, And sure, you may have to step over an item or two to get to another one, but that's part of the fun of browse shopping, isn't it? Anchor Down is located 155 West Main Street, downtown Forest City, right across from Carolina Chiropractic. Anchor Down is open they're open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 10 to 3. Check this out, if you will, please, and I'll know you'll be excited about shopping Anchor Down. Here's DeVern Upton reporting from Bostic. Good morning, DeVern.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. Our temperature is 58 degrees over here in Bostic. Fire department had no calls. Don't forget to stop in at Washburn Store located here on Bostic Sunshine Highway. They have just about anything you need. Their seeds are in, so go by and check everything out. Don't forget the Friday Night Fires Revival at Faith Baptist Church. Starts at 6:30, be every Friday night in March, and starts out this Friday night. And Pastor Brian Melton invites everyone out. Then there's a benefit hot dog supper and singing for Tyler Pendleton, son of Melissa Carroll and Randy Pendleton. And Melissa sings with the Eubank to help with medical expenses Friday, March the 10th, 5 to 6:30 supper, singing at 7 at Pleasant View Community Church, Michael Drive, Forest City. Donations accepted and appreciated. And hope everyone has a wonderful day.
DeVern, you have a wonderful day, too. Thanks for being with us, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Tar Heels pulled one out over Florida State last night. Tar Heels 77, Florida State 66 in a game heard right here. Let's turn our attention now to Robbie Samuel, Rutherfordton Fire District, and also looking after things for Hudlow for us. Robbie, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. Are you a Tar Heel fan?
Well, I'm sure it's going to upset a few, but no, I'm not a Tar Heel fan.
Everybody can be, you know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right. I'll pull for the home team if they're playing, but I'm more of the Blue Devil fan. I just always like their colors a little better. How about that?
Well, that's
the darker blue and white.
Yeah, there you go. There's a lot of Blue Devil fans out here too. So a lot of State fans, a lot of Wake Forest fans. We got them all covered out here. But
that's exactly right. Jim, with the fire departments, Rutherford, we had a few calls through the night yesterday evening, more so to say, not necessarily at early morning hours, but just medical calls and a public assist and power line fire. We had one of those last night. It's just typical stuff, I guess, from the rain, but other than that, everything's been quiet. Just want to announce too, March the 11th will be the next ham and chicken pie supper at the Mount Vernon Community Club. It'll be a drive-through only, just like last time. Line up at the church and enter that way, and then they'll get you order, and it'd be $12 a plate. And other than that, that's all we got going on. So hopefully it'll stay calm and cool.
Let's hope it does, Robbie. I hope you have a safe day out there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, Jim. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Wayne's Lunchbox can satisfy the pickiest of eaters at lunch or dinner or supper, whatever you want to call it. You can enjoy salads, sandwiches, a limited meat and veggie menu at lunchtime, and then for supper, your choice of a meat and vegetables. And Wayne's will be serving breakfast for supper the first of each month. Call on Wayne's for any catering event that you may have, offering catering service, so stop by 391 East Main Street in Spindale. Call 828-395-2225. Open Monday through Thursday, 11 until 2, for supper, 3 until 7.
Jerry Mountain Fire Report is coming up next. Sue Price is on the phone now to give us that news. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
It's another Tuesday. This is the last day of the month, Sue. I hope you got everything done
in
February.
February's gone by in
February, hadn't it?
It has.
Oh, we had some pretty days in February, though.
Mm-hmm. Feel like summertime almost.
No, no. Well, let's see. The fire department had one automobile accident call on my. I don't have anything on my Duckins Creek Church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got Rebecca Swink and Pastor David Ledford. And, of course, David's on Fairview. David's a pastor up at Fairview. And also they have Jacob Belton on their calendar. So we hope all of these folks will have a good day, and we hope anybody's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And I haven't had any announcements come in, so it's just quiet and calm over here looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. You have a good one, too, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Again, let me remind you there is a lost puppy wandering around up here around Wilson Road area or Sparks Crossing. Beagle pup, no collar on, but the owners would love to get the little puppy back. So if you see a beagle pup walking around looking like it's trying to find a home, it belongs at 429-1319. Call 429-1319, and you'll find the owner willing and able and ready to hug that little puppy again, get it home back to him. Here's Tina White reporting up in the Shingle Hollow area this morning. Tina, how you doing?
I am doing great this morning.
Good.
It has been a beautiful morning already. The sunrise was beautiful, and it's a very important day in Shingle Hollow today.
Really?
Because it is Cohen Pritchard's 11th birthday.
Oh.
So, Cohen, I hope you have a wonderful birthday today.
Happy birthday, Cohen.
It's also, we have a lot of birthdays today. We have Amy Harden. So, Amy, if you're listening, hope you have a wonderful birthday, too. And Tina Hill, same for you, wonderful day. And Michael Birch, I hope he has a great day today. It's a good day to have a birthday. The fire department was all quiet the past 24 hours, but now it's Tuesday, so at 9:30 today, 9:30 this morning, the senior citizens meet there in the back room at the fire department, and they just have some fellowship. So if you're interested in doing that, just head on over to Shingle Hollow Fire Department. We also have a birthday for the 29th, which, you know, they get to skip birthdays. Isn't that great?
They don't get old as fast as we do they?
No, well, that's for Miss Heather Thompson, and I hope she has a wonderful day today. If you know any of these that I've called out, call them, tell them happy birthday. This Saturday, the 4th, Bills Creek, excuse me, having a hard time reading my own writing this morning. Bills Creek Community Center is having a corned beef and cabbage dinner. They're going to have corned beef, cabbage, vegetables, dessert, and drinks. It's $20 a meal, and it starts at 4 p.m. And also, I got another request to announce that Thermal City is having their spaghetti dinner this Saturday at 4 p.m. Starts at 4 p.m. Plates is $10, and that's spaghetti, homemade spaghetti, salad, drink, and dessert. So if you're in that area, or if you want to be in that area, just head out. I hear those spaghetti dinners are wonderful. And then next week starts Pilgrim Way Spring Revival, March 6th through the 10th at 7 p.m. each night. There will be different preachers each night and different singers each night. So we're going to be busy up here in this area. Come on and join us.
Well, I hope you're going to have a good day, and I look forward to talking to you next month.
Yes, sir. Next month I'll talk to you. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we'll move on over to Union Mills after this.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
We're checking in now up at Union Mills. Brenda Kelly, top of the day to you.
Top of the day to you, Jim Bishop. I hope you're having it's a terrific Tuesday, isn't it?
It is a terrific Tuesday.
Yeah.
Some days don't get started as good as others, but I'm thankful we have a day.
That's exactly right. As long as it gets started, that's the main thing.
That's right.
But I'm a happy camper this morning.
I know you are.
I hate that Robbie Samuels likes that other color blue. That's terrible.
Well, different strokes for different folks.
Can't win them all, can we?
That's right.
but that's all right. He'll get to have a nail biter. I believe it's Saturday we play Duke, ain't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be the
UNC
two
Duke.
Blues will be there fighting it out.
Yep. Should be a good game.
Oh yeah. And I just pray that Carolina wins, but I don't know. They've won 3 in a row now, haven't they?
They have. Maybe they found their mojo finally.
Well, I hope so. But if they lose, that don't matter. They'll still be my team, and I'll root for them. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent.
Now, that's a real fan.
Huh?
That's a real fan.
Well, I've always been a Carolina Tar Heel fan. I've just always liked them, and I was sorry to hear about the former coach at, I believe it was Virginia, Terry Holland. I believe he passed away. I was sorry to hear that. Well, let's see. I've got 54 degrees on the front porch. I don't have but one birthday today, and that's Chuck Radford. So, Chuck, I hope you have a great old big day on your special day. And in ways of announcement, the Union Mills Learning Center had a successful 5K, 10K race on Saturday with over 85 runners. They want to thank the sponsors, volunteers, and participants for the event. And then on Friday, March the 3rd, Union Mills Learning Center, 6 p.m. soup meal, $6. 7 p.m. wiregrass. No admission. Tip jar for the band will be available. And then Thermal City United Methodist Church, 301 Thermal City Road, Union Mills, NC, spaghetti supper. And this is Saturday, March the 4th, 4 p.m. until adults is $10, children $5, under age 5 eat free, and takeout orders available. So you don't have to cook on Friday and Saturday. You can go eat soup at the Union Mills Learning Center and spaghetti at the Thermal City Methodist Church.
Sounds like a good weekend of eating, doesn't it?
That sounds good to me.
What made you decide Tar Heels was your team? When did you get turned on to the Tar Heels?
I've always liked the Tar Heels. I don't know. I just know years ago, Donald was a big sports fan. He loved all sports. Me, I'm just a basketball person, and it's just college basketball. I don't care for the big teams, and I'm a diehard Carolina fan, and if they're not in it, I don't root for another one.
Oh yeah.
I don't root for another North Carolina team. No, I'm strictly Carolina. But I can remember in our early marriage, where if he had lived, we would have been married 50 years this year, and we used to go and rent a motel room just to get to watch the basketball games in color, because we didn't have a color TV then.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I've just always been a Carolina fan.
You could really see the blue and color TV then, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. I can remember that. I have some fond memories of my husband.
I'm sure you do, but don't ever lose them.
No, and somebody treated me one time to get to go down there, me and Donald, and see him live. Never did know who done it, but I want to know. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, because I can't remember if it was the next year that he died or 2 years after that, but it wasn't long after that he passed away.
And somebody sent you to see them play in person?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but I had a good time, and I had a real good escort, that Chad Medford.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he escorted us. I guess we was in good hands.
Well, that's debatable.
You won't do, Jim.
He'll be sending me a note here in a few minutes. Well, listen, you have a wonderful day up there.
You have a good one. We'll catch you later.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Linda Keller reporting in. Now let's visit Drop-In Family Mart over in Bostic, because they have one of those unique convenience stores that's family-friendly and also handicap-friendly, because they will bring you groceries out to the car for you if you need to. They will help you get in and out of the store. They're very personable in their customer service. Besides that, they have a great meat market back there with steaks, pork chops, and roast. They open early, stay open late, and a great produce department. And their Major Lee's chicken is outstanding. I heard somebody the other day bragging on it. They have potato wedges, pizza, beef dogs, and they have a good deli breakfast over there right now going on. So check in with them. Call your order in. They'll have it ready for you, or just stop by and visit around a little bit. You'll find the Drop-In Family Mart there on the Bostic Sunshine Highway right across from the post office. You'll find that to be one of your favorite places to stop. Now let's check in with Luther Gilligan over in Ellensboro. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning, you two. Nice day down here.
Nice day up here.
Coffee's good. Biscuits are good. Just having a good time. But it's quiet there. Just where everybody just get their biscuits and heading on out another day at work. The fire department there and had one medical call about 9:30 last night. Other than that, they're quiet this morning. Man said he just sitting there drinking coffee this morning. So nothing else going on down here, Jim. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Luther, thank you, and you have a good day.
You too. Take care.
And it's time for birthdays and anniversaries for this last day of February. And we'll take those of you who were born on 29th. Your birthday's not listed this year, but we know you're a leap year baby. So if you had a birthday on the 29th, born on the 29th, call us. We'll celebrate your birthday as well. 28th and 29th birthdays being celebrated at 287-3356, 287-3356.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Well, Granny B's always welcome you for a good lunch over there with their good, delicious subs. They're big subs, and you can load it down with what you want, the kind of meat you like. They got all kinds of meat. Just look up on board, so I'll take number 3, and this is what I'd like to have on it. And, they'll fix that sub right up for you. And be sure you leave room for the delicious De La Donuts. That's all at Granny B's, Spindale.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday wishes going out to Dave Lauder. He's 71, the Muffer Man. He worked at Cowan for 40 years. So Dave, have a happy, happy birthday. David Ledford, the pastor up in Fairview, up in Golden Valley, is celebrating a birthday today. So, David, have another birthday, and congratulations. Thanks for letting us share your birthdays, folks, on this 28th day of February. Now, coming up is the Keys to Confident Living, and we'll take you down memory lane with some classic oldies.
podcast.
In some of the worst such violence the region has seen in decades, scores of Israeli settlers rampaged through the West Bank, injuring 360 people, killing one Palestinian man, and setting fire to homes, cars, and businesses to avenge the killing of 2 Israeli settlers by a Palestinian gunman. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said he held the Israeli government responsible for what he called, quote, the terrorist acts carried out by settlers under the protection of the occupation forces.
A 22-year-old American man with dual Israeli citizenship was killed when a suspected Palestinian shooter opened fire in the West Bank. Fox Corporation Chairman Rupert Murdoch acknowledging in a deposition some of the hosts on his Fox News channel endorsed the false allegations that the 2020 election was somehow stolen from Donald Trump. Murdoch and Fox are being sued for defamation. You're listening to ABC News.
I am Kate Gibson, and I hope I don't regret starting a weekly podcast with my father, Charlie Gibson.
Thanks, kiddo. On our new ABC audio podcast, The Bookcase with Kate and Charlie Gibson, we will have conversations with our favorite new and established writers, as well as book lovers and booksellers.
There's nothing more delicious than spoon-feeding yourself every word of a wonderful novel.
New episodes of The Bookcase with Kate and Charlie Gibson are posted every Thursday.
Wait a minute. You mean now I can listen to GMA any time of the day, anywhere?
Yes, that's exactly what we mean with the new Good Morning America podcast. Listen to all of GMA served up daily straight to you. Oh, Michael.
What? I'm listening to our new GMA podcast. You guys, it's really good.
Listen to the Good Morning America podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Subscribe now. It's really good.
Election day in Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, the first black and openly gay mayor of Chicago, facing 8 rivals in her reelection bid. If no one gets more than 50% of the vote, the top 2 head to a runoff in April. A judge in a murder trial of South Carolina lawyer Alex Murdaugh says he will allow the jury to visit the scene of the crime. They are expected to go to the Murdaugh family's hunting property this week. Murdaugh is accused of killing his wife and son there, but a defense expert testified that the murders were likely carried out by not 1 but 2 people. Thousands of people in Texas affected by a sophisticated ID theft ring. ABC's Jim Ryan with details.
Using personal data they found on the dark web, criminals posed as real Texans of Asian descent, created accounts on Texas.gov, and applied for driver's licenses. At least 2,400 were approved, produced, and mailed out to the Asian crime syndicate.
We're not happy at all, one bit, I can tell you that.
Steve McCraw heads the Texas Department of Public Safety and acknowledges that
controls should have been in place and this should have never happened, period.
The DPS is working to track down the Texans whose identities were stolen and the criminals who now have real Texas driver's licenses. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
If you want to get a good night's sleep, guess what? Get a sleep mask. A new study says people who wear an eye mask while sleeping showed better memory and alertness when they woke up. Researchers say it may be because the mask keeps out ambient light and that can interrupt your sleep patterns. This is ABC News.
This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show, Good Morning America. Prince Harry.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
Failed crypto boss Sam Bankman-Fried.
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going to jail?
Michelle Obama.
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
ABC's Good Morning America.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Look for highs in the lower 70s and lower 80s for today. It's going to be a fantastic day for some outdoor activities. We are going to see a lot of sunshine. It's going to be a little bit breezy at times, and those winds out of the south and west could help us to head well above normal for this time of the year. By tonight, we're down into the mid-40s. Then tomorrow, we will see highs in the lower 70s and lower 80s with clouds increasing, rain building in Wednesday night. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
61 degrees currently, and it's going to be another warm one out there for us wintertime. 74, Sunday was 74 degrees, and wind gusts up to 17 miles per hour. The wind has already started gusting, and tonight mostly clear with a low around 46 and light wind. It's 73 tomorrow. Then by the weekend, it looks like it may be turning back toward the seasonal weather on Sunday, 58, and then Sunday night, 34. So it's getting back wintertime at nighttime. We'll see. It's 8:06. Andrew Tisdale Day in the Blue Room, and we'll talk with him in just a moment.
Mission Health Center Rutherford is now open in Forest City, a multi-specialty clinic with care for the whole family. From routine preventative care to the treatment of chronic conditions, our providers offer a personalized approach to meet your specific needs. Now accepting new patients. Call 828-659-5741 to make an appointment today. Mission Health Center Rutherford. Quality care close to home.
All right, let's see. It is now 8:06. Just a reminder before Andrew starts. Somebody's lost a puppy. A beagle pup has no collar, lost near just off Wilson Road near Sparks Crossing. If you have seen a cute little beagle pup, call 429-1319. That's the word from our doggone department this morning, 429-1319. And Andrew Tisdale is sitting across the street right now in the blue room. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
It's just an honor being here.
Isn't the weather nice out there?
It feels good. It feels actually like baseball season.
Yeah.
So East had a game yesterday. They changed it to come today, and I think that was a good decision. Look at the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be pleasurable.
You'll be tied up pretty much all summer long, then, don't you, with baseball?
Let's see, baseball, soccer, a little bit more volleyball, and track. So that's all in the scheduling.
Doesn't leave you time to play golf, does it?
No, it doesn't leave me time to play golf. So if anybody ever sees me out on the golf course, you'll see I haven't played in a while. maybe soon I'll learn how to play.
I was going to challenge you to a golf match.
Well, I would say, from what I hear, me and you could go be a good competition. I don't know.
Yes.
Would you rather golf or fly fish?
Well, I've never fly fished before.
You never fly fished? Yep.
I'd like to sometime.
Well, you teach me to play golf, I'll teach you to fly fish.
All right, that's the deal.
How about that?
What you got on your mind today?
I just want to let everybody know of an opportunity that is kind of under the radar right now, but it is a really good opportunity, and it's bonds. Through this past year, not this year, but past year, bonds had one of the worst records on history. The reason is because interest rates were rising to help decrease the inflation. But here's what's happened. Now you can get very short-term bonds for yields between 5 and 7%. So think about that for a minute. Could you imagine getting a 7% yield on anything at the bank? So, and a lot of these are not going to last long. And the reason is because as the interest rate keeps rising, when we see that inflation starts stagnating, in other words, it's not going up as much anymore, and we also already know that it's actually dropping a little bit, then interest rates are going to go down. If you look at any CDs or bonds right now, anything past the 2-year mark actually declines in the yield. What that's meaning is there's nothing expecting for any reason for interest rates to keep rising after a few more years or after 2 years. So the opportunity is there for a very solid yield on very, very risk-free. I won't say risk-free. I'll explain that in a second. Very, very low-risk investments, and those are some treasury bills and bonds that are out there. And why do I not call it risk-free? Well, what I mean by that is if you look at their credit rating, they'll be from AAA, AA, A, all the way down to D. My advice is to look at anything from BB up. The reason is because the biggest risk you're taking is that the company or the organization that you use that bond for defaults on their loan that you're giving them. A AAA, AA, A, BBB, BB rating means they have very good credit. So, and those are some of the ones that are offering very good 6-7% yields right now.
Good. And your transition is going smooth now?
It's going smooth. It gets better every day.
Yeah.
It gets better every day. We had a meeting in Columbia yesterday, which was a really good meeting. We've got some exciting announcements coming on board here in a few weeks, and we have a lot of it's just exciting. Just exciting. I wish I could talk more about it right now, but sometimes you got to rein back your excitement a little bit. But it's going to be great.
Good. Got to hold it back till the proper time.
Till the proper time, and sometimes the proper time's not when I want it to be, but it just is.
Yeah. Now is baseball already started?
So we had 2 scrimmages last week. I know at East, and I know that Chase and RS and Thomas Jefferson's been scrimmaging also. So yeah, it's here. It's here. And me and Lou and there were debating, do we want snow or not? She wants a little bit of snow, just one. I don't want any. I want to see baseball.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, it won't be long. The Braves will be starting again pretty soon.
That's right. Did you see that one? Well, they had that one against Boston. I saw this on ESPN, where they were tied, bottom of the 9th, and the batter got called out because he was not set and ready in time. The new clock is out there.
Oh, really?
That's going to be interesting.
Now, what's that new clock do? I didn't see that.
I don't understand the whole ruling, but the pitcher has to become set and ready within a certain time frame. I think 8 seconds, and the batter has to be set and ready within a certain time frame. If the pitcher's not ready, it's an automatic ball. If the batter's not ready, it's an automatic strike. Well, that batter already had 2 strikes on it.
Wow.
So he was, I guess, a second late, and the umpire just called time, called him strike, you're out, ball game over.
Wow. I guess they think that'll speed up the game, I guess.
They said that they have been trying that in the minor leagues, and it speeds up the game almost between 25 and 30 minutes.
Really? Well, it needs to be speeded up some.
It does. It does.
It takes forever sometimes to get the first pitch out.
The first pitch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ceremony in that, isn't there?
Andrew Tisdale, my guest. Tell us how they get in touch with you.
Right now, the best way is 828-429-7539. 828-429-7539. If you have any questions or any comments or just want to learn about those bonds that I'm talking about, just give us a call.
I'll see you next Tuesday.
My pleasure.
All right.
See you.
I'll be back in just a moment.
Hungry? Lunchtime, dinner time, anytime is a good time to stop in at Gregory's Original Restaurant. Choose from fresh, delicious burgers, fries, sandwiches, pasta dishes, fresh salads, grinders, and so much more. All orders are prepared fresh and to perfection. Open Monday through Friday, 11 till 9, Saturdays, noon till 9, closed on Sundays. Call in or carry out. 828-287-2171. Located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton, and DoorDash delivery is available. Fast and friendly service. That's Gregory's Original Restaurant.
Yes, and one of my favorite places to go, I love to go over there and have that one trip salad bar. Now, some of you love the other menu. I do too. I love their menu choices are great. So enjoy a meal at Gregory's anytime you can. All right, we have news from the Sheriff's Department with Deputy Butron in just a few moments, but let me update you on some other news this morning, local from the news. The Rutherfordton police is looking for a runaway, Gracie Mull. Gracie is a 17-year-old white female that's 5'4", weighs about 100 pounds. She is known to change her hair color, and last known color is blue. She was last seen at 163 Tanner Street in Rutherfordton on the 24th of February. Gracie possibly is in the company of her mother, Kim Morgan Mull, Jennifer Hoyle, or Zachary Tavernier. If you have any information regarding the location of Gracie, please contact the Rutherfordton Police Department at 828-429-4108 or Communication Center at 828-286-2911. And that's Gracie Mull, 17 years old, about 5'4", weighs about 100 pounds. I think maybe her hair right now might be blue. So be on the lookout. Meanwhile, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office said 3 people were recently charged for allegedly trying to move and sell fentanyl pills in Rutherford County. Deputies said detectives had been investigating reports that inmates inside the detention center were trying to run an operation selling pressed fentanyl pills throughout the county. According to the deputies, after hours of surveillance and interviews, detectives seized about 350 pounds. Pressed about 350 pressed seized around 350 pressed T-189 fentanyl pills from a house in the Chase community. They added that these three suspects already in custody at the detention center were charged with the investigation, various charges on them, so they will be facing their charges here pretty soon. I think these drug dealers sometimes just think we're a bunch of dummies here in the county and they're going to be able to get away with most anything they want to. I don't think that's the case anymore. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper ordered state facilities to fly the U.S. and the North Carolina state flag at half staff from sunrise to sunset today. The order honors former North Carolina Senator Jim Broyhill on the day of his funeral in Winston-Salem. The funeral will be held at Centenarian United Methodist Church with a graveside service later in the day in Wilkes County. On February the 18th, Broyhill died at 95 at Arbor Acres Retirement Home in Winston-Salem. He had reportedly suffered from congestive heart failure. Governor Cooper said, "I appreciate Senator Broyhill's commitment and service to North Carolina, and our prayers are with the Broyhill family today." Broyhill, a Republican and native of Lenore, served in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1963 to 1986. Broyhill was in the midst of a U.S. Senate campaign when retiring Republican Senator John East died in June of 1986. Governor Jim Martin appointed Broyhill to finish out that term, and he was running for re-election. And Democrat Terry Sanford ran that race against him and defeated him in that Senate race. Senator Broyhill, one of the good guys. Well, down in Gaffney, South Carolina Highway Patrol said troopers are investigating after a pedestrian was seriously injured in a hit and run February 25th. That was Saturday. In Cherokee County, troopers said the crash happened along Goocher School Road near Double Bridge Road at around 10:40 p.m. According to troopers, the unknown vehicle was traveling west on Goocher School Road when it hit the victim and left the area without stopping. Troopers believe the driver's vehicle was a 1999 to 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee that should have damage to the passenger side mirror. They added that the color of the car is currently unknown. Anyone with information regarding this situation can send it information by calling 828-274-6372. Identify this driver who hit and run. 18 minutes after 8 o'clock here on the Tuesday morning edition, we have My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up this morning at 9:05. Interesting things to talk about, and hopefully a guest will be calling in this morning. We'll see how that works out. I'm trying to find another story right here right quick. I wanted to just last year, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the Roe v. Wade abortion decision from 1973 and said since the Constitution does not contain that right, voters in the states could regulate it. Now another stunning decision has been released. This time, a state court has held that someone who kills an unborn baby capable of living outside of the mother's body can be charged with homicide since that child is considered a person under state law. Court rules killing an unborn baby capable of living outside the mother's womb is murder. That's the center of the personhood theme that pro-lifers have been supporting for years already, the determination that the unborn is a person and therefore protected by the Constitution. The ruling from the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court limits that designation to those babies capable of living outside the mother at this time. Liberty Counsel explained, quote, in Commonwealth versus Ranchi, the highest state court in Massachusetts recently upheld 2 first-degree murder convictions of a man who stabbed his girlfriend to death, which caused the death of their 9-month-old unborn child from loss of blood circulation from the mother. The defendant argued that since he had not actually stabbed the baby, he should not be held responsible for his death. However, the court rejected this argument and held that infliction of prenatal injuries resulting in the death of viable fetus before or after it is born is homicide. The defendant had been sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences for crime. The High Court affirmed instructions to the jury that included killing is not murder unless a human being has been killed. A viable fetus is a human being under the law of homicide. A fetus is viable when there is a reasonable likelihood of the fetus sustained survival outside the womb with or without artificial support. So new ruling, and they should make clarity on if is a fetus really a body or is it not? Yes, come to prove that it is. Deputy Butron gave us the report from the Sheriff's Department this morning. We recorded it for broadcast at this time.
Past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 194 calls for service. The jail has processed 11 arrests. There's currently 177 incarcerated in the county jail. For arrest reports, Justin Wayne Fraser was served with an order for arrest for a ferry repair on a felony. Eric James Tardio was served with an order for arrest for a ferry repair on a misdemeanor. Karen Roper Craven was charged with possession of cocaine. Mark Edward Green was served with an order for arrest for a ferry repair on a misdemeanor. Kimberly Harris McKinney was served with warrants for breaking and entering, felony larceny, and larceny of a firearm. Alexander Antonio Lopez was served with 2 orders for arrest for a ferry repair on a misdemeanor. And Wayne Richard Ashton was charged with possession of a criminal substance in a jail or prison, possession of tobacco by an inmate, and assault on a government official. That's all we've got.
Well, a fugitive was taken into custody after a brief search in Pinal Road area over in Polk County. Here's the story from the Tryon Daily Bulletin. Dustin Lucas McDowell was taken into custody Friday morning after law enforcement announced that a search was underway. Polk County Sheriff's Office announced Friday morning that a wanted subject was taken into custody after another area law enforcement searched the Smith-Waldrop Road area of Mill Spring. After a short foot chase, Dustin Lucas McDowell was taken into custody by Sheriff Wright and his team over there in Polk County. McDowell was wanted on federal breaking and entering and other felony and misdemeanor charges, and a canine and drone were deployed in the area during the search. Officials said a tip from the public led to the apprehensions. According to the Sheriff's Office, McDowell is being transported to Polk County Detention Center and will go before a magistrate regarding those most recent charges. Polk County Sheriff's Office thanked members of the public who checked in with law enforcement throughout Friday morning after it was announced that the search was underway. That's how the public can get involved. If you know something, you think you might know something, report that in to the officials, and they'll be glad to run up on that and find out for sure. A chase that started in Morganton wrapped around Lake James and ended in Glen Alpine with a set of flattened tires left a man with a collection of charges Thursday night. Greg Herman Lytle, 48, was charged with felony flee to elude arrest along with misdemeanor resist, delay and obstruct a public officer, speeding more than 50 miles per hour over the posted speed limit, driving during revocation, stop sign violation, driving left of center, and failure to maintain lane control, according to a press release from the Morganton Department of Public Safety. The charges against Lytle came after an officer attempted to stop a vehicle for several traffic violations, including failure to display a registration plate. Lytle fled from the attempted stop, the release said, and led officers on a chase from Morganton around Lake James, then to Glen Alpine and town limits, and they were able to deflate his tires with stop sticks and was able to transport him to where he needed to be transported to, and they have made that arrest. Sports update coming up right now from our networks here on WCAB.
NCN Sports, I'm Nate Saunders. Florida State erased an 18-point deficit and got within 2 possessions late in the game, but North Carolina was able to hold on for a 77-66 win down in the Sunshine State on Monday night. Head coach Hubert Davis after the game.
I'm really proud of them. You know, we knew, what Florida State did on Saturday at Miami, and that, not only are they a talented basketball team, they never give up. And we knew that, being up 18 at halftime only meant we were up 18 at halftime, that we would have to continue to take care of the basketball, make plays, and step up on the defensive end. I'm so proud of the response when they cut it to 4. RJ was able to make a couple baskets. We were able to get a couple key stops, and at the end of the day, that's what you have to get.
UNC is now 19-11, keeping their NCAA tournament hopes alive. LaMelo Ball's frustrating injury-plagued season could be over after the point guard broke his right ankle in Charlotte's 117-106 win over the Detroit Pistons on Monday night. Ball has already missed 27 games this season after he sprained his left ankle on 3 separate occasions beginning in the preseason. He and the Hornets were playing their best basketball of the season before the point guard fell on the floor on a non-contact play in the third quarter. X-rays revealed the fracture to Ball's ankle. Ball had entered the game with 5 straight double-doubles. The Carolina Panthers added to their front office, hiring Adrian Wilson as vice president of player personnel on Monday. Wilson spent the last 8 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals scouting department, including the last 2 as vice president of player personnel. He was promoted to co-interim general manager of the Cardinals near the end of last season. Wilson played 12 seasons with the Cardinals and made 5 Pro Bowls before retiring after the 2012 season. He played in college at NC State. I'm Nate Saunders. You're listening to NCN Sports.
I feel like it's ever changing. I never know what to expect every morning when I wake up. December 18th of 2020 is when I tested positive. Even though this is 2 years in for me having long COVID, I have faith that I'm going to get better. Pull up your sleeve and give yourself a fighting chance.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to find a vaccination site near you.
North Carolina farmers often face challenges that translate to high stress levels and anxiety. The Farm and Ranch Stress Assistance Network is here to support you. We offer a 24/7 helpline to connect farmers, ranchers, farm workers, and families with resources, including mental health, financial, legal, farm safety, cooperative extension, and more. If you or someone you know could benefit from our support, visit ncfarmstress.org today. That's ncfarmstress.org, providing help and hope for stressful times.
Terry Holland, the 2-time ACC Coach of the Year and 3-time SoCon Coach of the Year winner with Virginia and Davidson, has died. The distinguished basketball coach and athletic director who led Virginia to a pair of Final Fours in the 80s died on Sunday in Charlottesville, Virginia. He spent 21 seasons as a head coach for Davidson and Virginia before serving as athletic director for Davidson, Virginia, and East Carolina. He was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2019. Tonight in college basketball, Clemson visits number 13 Virginia. Iowa goes to number 15 Indiana. NC State travels to Durham. They'll visit Duke. And Boston College goes to Wake Forest. All of those games will tip off tonight at 7 p.m. And also 24, Texas A&M at Mississippi at 9. You're listening to NCN Sports.
The best of both worlds. WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Playing the classic oldies.
Look for highs in the lower 70s and lower 80s for today. It's going to be a fantastic day for some outdoor activities. We are going to see a lot of sunshine. It's going to be a little bit breezy at times, and those winds out of the south and west could help us to head well above normal for this time of the year. By tonight, we're down into the mid-40s. Then tomorrow, we will see highs in the lower 70s and lower 80s with clouds increasing, rain building in Wednesday night. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And according to Peter, the meter reader, we have 62 degrees now. We warmed up from 59 up to now 62 degrees, and should be warming up to about 74 before the day is over with. Beautiful out there right now, isn't it? Makes you want to go stroll in the park. Maybe get cone ice cream or something, or a cherry Coke, and stroll in the park. Put the earbuds in and listen to the classic oldies we play from 9:30 this morning to 11:30. Great day in the neighborhood. All right, let's look at some other stories here. 9:05 this morning is My Great America with Jim and Butch on the radio. Right now, let's look at this. This is crazy here, crazy stuff, folks. Our society in our United States, as great a country as it is, the leadership of some of the cities, they've just absolutely gone crazy. New York City, for instance, asked its residents to give up their bikes to illegal aliens. Says it will allow asylum-seeking folks to move around with ease. You want a bike in New York City, that's your mode of travel. They want you to give it up to an illegal so they can travel with ease, and you got to walk. New York City is asking its residents to give up their bikes, their helmets, and locks to illegal aliens so that the illegals can move through America's biggest city with as much ease as possible. I repeated that because I thought maybe you didn't understand that. Yes, the leadership in New York City is absolutely gone berserk right now. New advertisements funded by the City of New York and appearing on electronic ad boards at bus stops and along sidewalks are asking the city's residents to give up their own property to help illegal aliens, who the city ridiculously refers to as asylum-seeking folks, to move around with ease, move around the city with ease on your bicycle. They want you to give it to them before they steal it. Bike New York is looking to receive, repair, and distribute bikes, helmets, locks, and lights to help asylum-seeking folks move around. The Recycle a Bicycle advertisement reads, donations will be accepted until February the 28th, which is today. We'll see how many folks turned their bicycles in. I'm sure there may be a report from that. I just don't understand the mindset, the thinking of those in the liberal cities that think we should just give everything we've got and give all the freedoms and all the liberties to these folks who've stolen their way into our country. When there's a legal way to get into the country, that's what our freedom is all about. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses longing to be free. There's many thousands of people who come through Ellis Island over the years the right way. Mere thousands and thousands that come across illegally. And in that group that's coming across, many of them are coming to do us harm, to do us no good. Yet we want to step aside and let them do it. That's what they're saying. Let's do. Let's give them free everything. Give them our jobs. Give them free school. Give them free everything. Now let's give up our bicycles so they can ride around at ease, and we have to walk. Thousands of bicycles in New York City. That's how a lot of folks get around. And a lot of folks work on their bicycles. They're deliverers. They deliver food and deliver messages and deliver things to different places around the city on bikes. Now they're saying, give it up. So these illegals who didn't come into the country legally, they're already illegal, breaking the law. Let's give them your bicycle now so they can ride around in ease. I just can't comprehend how that's a good thing to do. Anyway, moving on, the insane new religion that's taken over America. This is from David Coplingen. He's shining a spotlight on the epic madness of wokeism, published yesterday in the World Net Daily. Although one would never guess it based on the increasingly vicious and open attacks on Christians by this nation's ruling elites. America was for many generations the most Christian nation on earth, the true secret of its greatness. It started out that way. In fact, we've talked about that a lot on My Great America with Jim Butch. The forefathers, how faithful they were to the generations of Christianity. In fact, Christianity has unquestionably been the most powerful, consequential, and benevolent force in all of world history. Nothing comes close. Yet today, in the United States of America, a new religion has somehow become the country's de facto official church. Mind you, this new faith is not like a religion. It's not cult-like. It's a complete and total life religion, influencing every aspect of the true believer's existence. And right now, it is being forcibly imposed on the entire American populace by virtually every major societal institution, from government, media, and big tech to academia, preschool through grad school, to entertainment and sports, and perhaps most surprisingly of all, by most of the nation's biggest and wealthiest businesses. You hear about it all the time. This new state religion overtaking the United States of America and increasingly much of the Western and formerly Christian world is wokeism. To most outsiders, the expression being woke, or going woke, conjures up notions of a person or entity claiming to be acutely sensitive or awake to systemic social and political injustice in every form. The injustice being condemned by wokeism is not simply alleged widespread bigotry against black people, but also, as noted in Joe Biden's January 20th White House executive order, Latino and Indigenous and Native American persons, Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, and other persons of color, members of religious minorities, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, LGBTQ plus persons, persons with disabilities, persons who live in rural areas, persons otherwise adversely affected by persistent poverty or equality, end quote. Of course, the persons who live in rural areas bit was thrown in as a cynical pretense of caring about blue-collar workers, the working class, mostly Trump-supporting Americans, when the elite couldn't care less about them, as their deplorable non-response to the toxic disaster in rural East Palestine, Ohio, demonstrates. Yet, on the other hand, rest assured that the expansive LGBTQ plus population includes every child grooming trans school teacher, purple-haired, heavily pierced, non-binary TikTok recruiter and mentally ill cross-dresser seducing your toddler in drag queen story hour events. But bear in mind, my friends, that all of these people deemed victims of societal bigotry are therefore regarded as intrinsically more virtuous and moral than the shameful oppressor class, primarily heterosexual white Christian male. They're more religious than we are. The new woke consciousness is manifesting in dramatic ways, from the nationwide Antifa and Black Lives Matter race riots that decimated countless major U.S. cities during the summer of 2020, you remember that, to the desecration of long-cherished historic monuments, you remember that, from insisting on multi-million-dollar reparation payments for every black person in America, you remember that, to appointing men who claim they're women as top officials in the Biden administration. That's happening right now. From Disney producers gleefully boasting on camera how they're secretly injecting queerness into the children's program, to the U.S. military imposing mandatory diversity training and transgender pronoun use on all personnel, causing recruitment to disastrously plummet. Average Americans don't want that, but they're trying to force that on us. From top college and professional athletic organizations permitting and encouraging biological men to compete in women's athletics, essentially destroying women's sports, to incarcerating convicted men who suddenly claim they're women in women's prisons, resulting in a rape epidemic in these correctional facilities. Most ambiguously of all, there is the rampant racial discrimination in employment, college admissions, and every other area of life as seen in today's mass corporate embrace of DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, which, stripped of its sanctimonious and guilt, amounts to hiring people based on their skin color rather than their qualifications. Not only is such racial discrimination both immoral and flagrantly illegal, remember the 1964 Civil Rights Act? But it's also killing people. That's what happens when, for example, you hire airline pilots and surgeons based on their skin color rather than their abilities. And it's happening all over the country. Unlike in the biblical account wherein original sin consisted of the first man and woman disobedient to God in the Garden of Eden, according to wokeism theology, original sin consisted of predatory straight white Christians abusing and exploiting people of color. Today, this ongoing sinfulness comprises not just actual racism as manifested in slavery and later segregation, which America long ago repented of and definitively outlawed, but also mysteriously and elusive modern-day phenomena like systemic or institutional racism, as well as white privilege, a spiritual condition that renders people who aren't even the slightest bit racist as still guilty of racism just for being white. That is the universal and transcendent power of religion, of wokeism, folks. All this is merely the outer face of America's new state religion. To understand what's really at the heart of this new faith rapidly transforming the nation, and to grasp how and why it exerts such a strong hold on so many people, Despite being obviously immoral, destructive, and deranged, it's necessary to consider what constitutes true God-ordained religion. Specifically, the Christian faith, since the religion of wokeism so closely mimics Christianity in many ways. If wokeism is a counterfeit, let's take a brief look at the real thing, if you will. Bear with me. First, recognize that pretty much all religions, with the obvious exception of Satanism, hold that human beings come into this world in an incomplete or fallen condition, in some way separated from God, and in need of redemption, completion, or reunion with Him, and an embrace of a moral and righteous personal life. And indeed, all people, as they grow up, have to contend with the inherited sinful nature within both themselves and others, and the consequence strong tendency to transgress God's moral laws. In fact, undeemed human beings, if one looks past whatever veneer of competence and happiness or attractiveness or achievement they labor to protect outwardly, are usually conflicted, guilt-ridden, and insecure deep down. What would that be? Well, according to the biblical narrative, it goes back to that very first original sin committed by first man and woman. As the Apostle Paul explains with remarkable clarity and simplicity in Romans 5, sin and death came upon the entire human race because of the sin of one man, Adam. However, another man, Jesus Christ, the long-promised Messiah, came to earth on a rescue mission as a second Adam, so to speak, to reverse the original curse that followed the fall of mankind. The Son of God accomplished this by taking upon himself the burden of the sins of all humanity, and by willingly suffering the horrors of crucifixion and death on a Roman cross, paid to a righteous and just God the legal penalty in full for the sins of the entire, everybody, entire human race. Seeing as sin entered the world through one man and death through sin, and in this way death came to all people because all sinned, how much more did God's grace and the gift that came by the grace of one man, Jesus Christ, overflow to the many? Paul's explanation is logical, so logical that he restates the principle one more time just to drive the message all the way home. Consequently, just as one trespass resulted in condemnation for all people, so also one righteous act resulted in justification and life for all people. Found in Romans, I believe, chapter 5. This, of course, is the beating heart of the Christian gospel. That is, just yet merciful God has provided a way for wayward mankind to become fully righteous in His eyes, to be redeemed, renewed, and restored, to be brought, justified, and free into close and eternal fellowship with God and His family. Now, let me pause for a moment just to acknowledge that the Christian gospel constitutes the most magnificent cosmic love story of all time. To undo the consequences of the fall, it took great love. As Christ Himself said, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." That's exactly what Jesus did. As a result, He made a way through His sacrificial act of great love on His part, and through faith, obedience, and sincere commitment on our part, for us to be transformed and renewed, literally reborn spiritually with a new nature and new and wonderful eternal destiny. So that's what can overcome this new wokeism religion. They think they have the answer, but they do not have the answer. The answer only cometh from the Holy Scriptures. It talks about the one who loved us all. I didn't want to preach to you this morning, but I wanted to share with you how wokeism is spreading across the country, and under the auspices of fancy terms and fancy phrases and fancy television shows and news stories, it looks like that's the way we should go. Everybody should be woke. No, everybody shouldn't be woke. What we should do is woke up, so to speak, and realize that there's more out there than what they're trying to send down the road. Disney right now is in trouble. Disney's in trouble because of the wokeism. A lot of libraries across the nation, public libraries and school libraries, are in trouble because they're putting books in the hands of people for children to read that's encouraging a sexual orientation change. Her story, what was that? Leaves my mind right now, but I'm not sure where it was, but some young boy was in the library at his school, and the librarian gave him a book of sexual perversion for him to read, and then she added one more corrupt than that one. Said, "Well, you might want to read this." Well, he knew that wasn't right. I think he might have been 7 or 8 years old. I can't remember exactly, but he took it home to his parents. His parents got in an outrage because that's what they were feeding him from the public education libraries. Now, here again, I don't believe that our local facilities are doing any of that. These are some of the liberal areas, but we need to watch out for those kind of things and encourage folks who are standing up and speaking the truth. We need to encourage them and support them for every possibility that we can. Well, all right. Okay, Jim. I'll step off the bandwagon here just a few minutes, and let's hear this.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Robbins Painting Carpet has become the friend of folks who do their own work around the house and friends of the professional. Robbins Painting Carpet is the home of Benjamin Moore premium quality paint. It goes on easy the first time, every time. So save yourself some time with Benjamin Moore. Robbins provides expert help and advice to make every project a success. Call on the team at Robbins Painting Carpet and Floor Covering, 245-8801. Hours are Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30. They're located at 206 Commercial Drive in Forest City.
Well, it's 8:48. I'm going to step away a little bit and get ready and make room for My Great America with Jim and Butch. So a lot of good things to talk about in that program, and I hope you'll pass the word that it'll be on about 9:05 this morning. Meanwhile, I'll step away, refresh the old vocal cords, and see what's happening. Meanwhile, we'll take you down memory lane with some classic oldies right here on WCAB. Meanwhile, let's get back together tomorrow morning bright and early about 6 o'clock. I'll wake you up with coffee in hand. Coffee cup in hand with coffee in the cup.